might not know, but Chrissy is now an assistant. So I'm going down in hours, and Chrissy's gonna go up in hours from our regular assistant position, just so I can have a little more life. It's the only thing I can say. And I'm excited about that. And you're gonna see Chrissy probably more than me. You don't see me a whole lot because I'm down here a lot. But you'll see Chrissy once she gets up and going. And I would hope by September 21st, because I'm not here that Sunday, Chrissy will be the only one. So anyways, just want to put a verse in front of you that this is what we do. Jesus said in Matthew 19:14, let the children come to me. Don't stop them. For the kingdom of heaven belongs to those who are like these children. And you're the first face that these kids actually see. You are the welcoming party. You are that cheerleader for them. And so I think you have a super important job to greeting these people as they come in. And we don't want those kids to not want to come. So I think your job is super important, and I appreciate each one of you and what you do. But there's been a lot of changes recently, and I don't think we've done a really good job of communicating that. That's on me. So I wanted to just have you come together. I will get a newcomer that I have in my group. This just recently happened. And then I went to go look him up. There was no parent, there was no address, there was no email, there was no phone number, there was no grade. I had nothing on that child, so I couldn't do any follow-up. And so Becky and I have been talking. Becky's also a great resource. And we've been talking, how can we do better with our newcomers and connecting me and Chrissy with all these new people. So we've tried to come up with some processes, I guess you want to say, how to do this, and so we want to share it with you today. So we have a new check-in form, and this is what we're going to do if there's a newcomer, is have them fill out a form, and there's 3 ways we can do this. Number 1, at each check-in station, there is going to be a QR code. There was one today at each check-in station. The parent can take their phone, and it will bring up the new member form. If you do a form, if you use this form, it will go directly to me. So I get to know through email, yes, Joey was a new person, and it will give me all the information. And that is so important. If you just go in and add them, I might not get it. So if we use the form, I will be alerted. Is that correct, Becky? I will be alerted. There's also a sheet of paper by the check-in station that has a list where you could write your name down. But this would be the easiest probably for them, that they would fill out this form. So if you wanted to look that up, actually I can bring it up right here for you. The other 2 ways are on an iPad. We have an iPad at each station. It will be the one that I use. So when you're done, you would bring that iPad down to me if you're at this station. If you're upstairs, you would give it to the nursery leader. There's a link right on the desktop. You can push that and they can do it on an iPad. Or, third, there is, and this is what the form looks like. The third thing is, let me go back, is you'll see this on the desktop of the station that you're at. If you click that, that'll take you to the form too. So there's 3 ways. 1, iPad, 2, or 3, you can hit the link and you can fill it out. We think it's easier if the parents fill it out. It goes faster because, well, that's for me. Because I keep saying, okay, was that an I before the E, or was that a C or a K? And it can get noisy, and you just don't always hear things. So they need to put in their name first, their address, the stars, and the things, asterisk, are the things that we need. And then down here, you add more children or whatever. So what I need, so if you do that, you'll see that the information I need is there. Please have them take a moment to fill it out. Now, if it's late, they can come down to class and then you can bring the tag down to them. you know, don't necessarily wait if it's a long line or it's taking a long time. It really doesn't take too long, especially if they're filling it out. It should go pretty quickly. I really want their email more than their address. You know, that is how I contact them. We need the grade or their age, so their date of birth has to go in there because that's how it's going to populate their name tag, by whether they're a doodlebug, bumblebee, and I'm going to go over that in just a minute. It's going to tell us which classroom they go to. So have them, and then the medical note is only if they have allergies or something we need to know about. Please put that in because that goes onto their tag if there's something we need to know. And then once they do that, then they can check in. And I suggest as welcomers, you take them then over to the self-station and show them how to check in, which is the last 4 digits of their phone number. Everyone here knows that, right? Mm-hmm. So if you have them do that, don't just print the tag off of them. You're teaching them for the next time that they come in. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And then they'll get their tag. Then the next problem we've had is that the kids don't know where to go and you can't leave your station. So most weeks we will have Aviv, you know Aviv Murphy, she's a short kid, that's all I can say. She's a 6th grader. She's assistant to the assistant on Sundays. And she will, so if you radio down and say I need Aviv, Aviv has a radio, she will come and then you can say, can you take these people where they go? And she can read their tags and take them right where they go. If Aviv isn't here, then Chrissy or myself will be the ones who will come and do that. We need to get them to the right rooms. And that, it's just so congested, they just need that personal touch of getting them to their correct spot. All right. Any questions about that?
What if like sometimes they'll say, oh, we're just visiting. Like if they don't want to fill it out, should we let it go, like fill them in as a visitor on check-in?
We still need to have them check in because I need to be able to contact them if something happens down here. How would, you mean can they go as a guest?
Yeah, sometimes like if somebody's coming for the first, or they're like a friend of somebody, you'll check them in as a guest.
Yeah, so like if it's
with
a grandchild that
yeah.
comes with a grandparent, that happens quite a bit. The grandparents put them underneath their household.
Right.
So you could add them in. Becky, you want to take that one? What would you suggest?
If you're adding somebody in, you would still use the check-in like you normally
right.
would. Yeah, so you can do that.
Okay.
But they would still be in there in order to print the tag.
And if they're hesitant and don't desire to provide that information?
So
I would say we need something for like security
Safety
purposes.
reasons.
Yeah. You have to have
A
some
phone
sort of
number.
And if they say no, we say you don't go? Or
Have you ever? I mean, have we ever had that?
I've had someone hesitant and just
Hesitant? Yeah.
just say this is only used
Right.
to
Get in touch with you.
yeah, to get in touch with you should we need to. I mean,
In-house,
and I would tell
yeah.
them, we have over 100 kids a week. We need to be able to check the kids in and out from the classroom safely.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna have a problem. We're not asking for social security,
Yeah.
you know, but that's usually that's the thing that people don't like. When I have volunteers, they don't wanna give their social security number for the background check. I run into that a lot. But this information, if they don't have to, the asterisk though on the form means they have to fill it
Asterisk
out.
is required.
It is required.
But Barry, to your question, actually, there is a scenario that I know Planning Center shows, which I can send to everybody. It's about, so for example, if it's a domestic situation where they don't want to put their information in, they do have a scenario for that. So we could
We
send
could
that.
look into that.
Yeah, because I could see that.
I generally haven't had
It's only happened to
like
me once.
ECS where we have a lot of people that don't come to church, they all fill it out. So, and it's a way we can let them know about special activities that are coming.
There's some people don't want to be contacted too. They just sort of.
So they could put that in the notes.
Yeah, we could say that. We could say we won't email you other than in-house if you're here, and we could put a note there so that
Yeah,
Suzanne
if
would
you
know
put a
that.
note on there, please do
So
not.
if they say, hey, I
Don't want your emails or anything.
I know I'm not part of the meeting, I'm just a videographer. But if you talk to them about their children's security, that's language they'll understand, so I would emphasize that.
Usually if you like let them know, this is for safety, to keep all the kids safe, usually agree.
Usually they're pretty good about that. And again, we're not asking for, I mean, the address would be, you can always block an email. So I don't worry about that. The address is the one they might not want to give out, but.
Is there a way to make that, is the
We don't
address
have-
necessary?
Nope, we
Or
don't
can
have
we
to.
make that optional?
We can make whatever, Suzanne just wanted email.
The
and-
email's the one I
Yeah.
use.
Mhm.
And then, yes, Bill.
Just what might be helpful then is once it's finalized, these are the ones that absolutely have to be there.
They'll have an asterisk.
Having a little reference at the desk too of a talking point for some of them.
Oh, okay, talking points.
It's for security reasons. We need a phone number. If the phone number is gonna, I mean, it's not on there, so maybe that's not. We need this, like, if your child fell downstairs and broke an arm, like, we need to be able to contact you. If you lose your number, we need to be able to validate who you are for the pickup. But just, if we could have a couple bullet points, just in a laminated card for
That's
parents.
a great
that
Can you
sort of
pull the
check-in
form
point.
back up? We can see what, because I know the phone number is,
Phone number, I didn't put on the list, but it is, because that's how they check in, is by their phone number.
so it is there, it's required.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, we
phone
can make
number's also
address
there.
not required.
Yeah, we can take the address. Oh, I don't think it, oh, yeah.
It is, yep.
Yeah,
We
so
can
we
make-
will take care of that.
Yep.
Any other questions about that? Those are good, and talking points is great. Won't happen, Bill, for quite a while, a little while.
Oh,
I'll try by October. All right. Each family will get a welcome bag,
New family.
the new family, yes. And, maybe suggest the parent keep it with them instead of bringing it down to class, because they're gonna lose it. Make sure they get escorted to the rooms, we will do that, yes.
where are the welcome bags? Because
They're
there've been a
right
couple
down on the
Sundays
shelf.
where there haven't been any at the upstairs check-in. I don't
So
know where
there's
they're
one up
stored.
there now, so I don't know.
It wasn't today, but there's been a couple over the last. few
Sometimes
months.
things disappear, and I noticed, that's what I can say. So it's up there again today, and I didn't put it there, so I don't know where it went.
But just let's say we have two new families come in, there are two bags and they're gone, is there somewhere we can grab two more?
Just let me know and I can try and we'll try and get one ready, but hopefully, if you see that they're gone, you can let us know
So
and
just
say.
radio that,
Yeah.
hey, the upstairs check-in station doesn't have any bags.
Suzanne, is there anywhere that you have them already pre-made though, that,
I try to put some at each station.
okay, but they're not like, you don't have a pile in your office and
No.
stuff?
No, I try to have like 4 at each station, 4 to 6. But I do see that I'm running low, so I will refill those.
It really doesn't make sense to try to contact you by radio at that point in time. You're probably busy and you didn't get it
So,
together.
summer to the max, I'm busy from 8:45 to 10, 10. But during the school year, generally speaking, unless I'm subbing, I have a 10-minute grace period at the beginning, because we do small group, large group, small group.
But they would have already gone through the process and.
Yes,
you know,
hopefully they
busy,
have.
so
But
you
your
could get
assistants,
it back in.
But the assistant, that's why one of us is always going to be free. Either if Chrissy's teaching, then I'm free, and if I'm teaching, then she's free. We've decided that already. One of us will always be available.
Right, but I guess the point I was trying to think of, if someone's coming in and they're new, we don't have a welcome bag.
You just radio me.
If you radio it and the bag was already available, that would work, but you're probably not gonna get a bag together. in time for
Hopefully, so I did check today and there was one up at the top. There wasn't any down there, but we will make sure there are bags there. And then if they're run out, just radio us and we'll make sure they get it before they leave.
them. Okay. before they
Yeah,
leave.
we'll find where they are and get that bag to them, but hopefully we'll have plenty up there. Again, explain the check-in system to them and then show them on the tag where it shows what room they're in and the allergies are noted. We had an issue recently with a mom's tag where it didn't show the allergy, and she was very concerned about that. So it was good that we were right there and we were able to fix that tag for her, so the next time she comes in, the allergy is showing.
and that's something to know too, that if somebody has checked in, cause this is what happened this week at Momco, somebody had checked in, but then let us know after they were already checked in there was an allergy, so we updated it, but it doesn't, you have to check them out and check them back in order for it to show up, so we were just reprinting the label.
and it won't
We
show up.
Right,
So
so,
it'll show up until you check them out and then check them back.
Well, that's fair, I mean, you just check
If
them
it-
out
yep,
and then
it's-
have them type
right,
the phone
yep.
number back
So
in.
what I did in that situation is I went and told the teacher there was an allergy assured the parents we weren't feeding them anything with nuts. So, and that worked.
But we didn't know that until we figured that out.
And then you might just mention there's an adult welcome station up in the lobby that they're welcome to attend to get more information about the church. Because sometimes all they're going to see is you. So I think, it's nice to connect them up there with that. Is that a question or just a
Question. It's a question.
Yes.
Is there maybe a follow-up thing? Is there been any conversation about new families, like not just a new kid, but new family, connecting them with like an elder, pastor, or someone else that's in this?
Yeah,
part of it?
Do you mean that day or
Yeah,
a follow-up? Oh,
that
yeah.
day. Just because we're a huge church, and
Right.
it's very easy to show up. and
it's
just-
really hard to do that though at the check-in time because they have to get to class and it gets so backed up and it's hard. That's why I thought if they could at least know about this.
I mean, as a follow-up, because that can information that in the
Oh.
service gets to someone, and then
So I
they know where
email
the
them
kid is,
information and-
and they head down to try and just introduce themselves to the parents that pick up.
That's
Just
a good
Maybe
idea.
a follow-on conversation.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Wouldn't the adults get that invitation in the service themselves?
They do, but if they're late or they don't mention it, they should. Don't feel bad if you can't. But there is a welcome station and I think Amy has bags
Yeah,
in
Amy
them that she
usually
gives
says
it
if
out.
you're new with us, blah, 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 we'll
Yeah.
take a service.
But I
I
think
just
that,
like to remind them.
but I think that's a good point for what Bill said, because if we know that they're new, it would be good to connect and have somebody reach out to them, like even that day, just like,
Yeah, how do we do that?
Glad you can-
That's
Yes.
something to think about.
Well, if they fill out the form,
yeah, we could
I mean,
send it
maybe
over
the
to-
disclaimer when we fill out the form is, you know, unless they're really hesitant, don't, but
Yeah.
in a general sense, like, you know, Suzanne might follow up with you about things that are going on with kids, and an elder or pastor will reach out, you know, if you'd like that, and like, we could just share that same information, because you're gonna have
Yeah.
a form with their phone number and
So
their
when
email
they
address.
fill out those cards, that's what, upstairs, those cards, that's what it happens. It gets funneled to
Right.
the right.
Yeah,
So if they fill out that form, we could, you know, as part of the discussion about it, is that this can help you get connected
Yeah.
potentially.
yeah,
The difference is that communication cards are their initiative.
right,
And if we start sharing their email address and they get contacted by an elder, I don't know, Bill.
I'm thinking
Whether-
more of the day of.
Yeah,
like,
I just sent an email to both of you with an idea. I'm actually thinking like during this, and it could be a follow-up thing, but during this service, right,
During
we
the
know
day.
they checked in.
Right,
We work with the elders and whatever group of people's involved to have somebody who's on point for the service that you then give that to, and we go, okay, so they've got a kid in the doodle-bug classroom, and it's this kid. I'm gonna go hang out there for that pickup just to introduce myself real quick and give them the offer, not a like corner them, but
Right.
hey,
Yeah.
we know you're new, we just want
Heads
to
up.
introduce ourselves.
Welcome.
There is that table if you didn't take advantage of it. If you, love to get to know you if you're willing and have time, and if not,
So maybe that form could also go to a couple people who feel like, I mean, it automatically goes to me, it could automatically go to someone else too.
yeah.
If they would check, they'd have to check though during the day.
Well, you know what, I think this is a conversation for a later time, but it's about, like, if elders were placed at different places, that would be easy
It's
enough.
about a process.
Thank you, Bill. Yes, Bill.
All right, we will, food for thought, we're gonna
Process.
take that up and we will
You two
think
should be
about
sitting
that.
beside each other.
Systems.
Get our system.
Becky, why don't you move over by Bill?
We'll be too disruptive talking about our systems.
True.
All right, printers, we have a lot of, we've had issues in the past with printers, so we've got a lot of cautions here. With the desktop or the iPads, if it says it needs iPad, no worker is going to do that. We're going to make that our job. Because sometimes, I know recently, somebody thought that it needed updates and it did not need updates. So it's just a whole complicated system. I think it's complicated and I'm pretty computer savvy. And it's not easy. So we're going to do that and we're going to put all the labels in the machines for you. We're going to make sure that all the machines are full and ready to go. And if for some reason we have so many kids that one machine goes empty, we still have 2 other machines in each check-in station. So we're going to take care of the labels, and Becky, I forgot that book. Can you go grab that thing?
It's not like a binder that you put.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna
all
have
the
her get.
illustrations.
If for some reason, and so if you run out of labels, that's where you let Chrissy know, you let me know, Becky knows. There will be a few people who know, because we have to match up the numbers on the bottom. It's a little complicated. But, so it's just less of a headache if you don't have to deal with it, quite frankly. So do not change the labels, and contact us if you're having trouble. They've been working pretty good. We're not getting doubles anymore. It's a system that is working. But we do have, Becky has put together the check-in. This is at each one of the stations, and it has some of the
Extra
information for
direction.
you. Look at this.
It's amazing.
Isn't it wonderful?
Does it have force reboot, how to do it for the two different models of tablet we have? 'Cause
I will let you
somebody
know.
brought one up that was locked today for me to reboot, and
Yeah,
I did it.
I don't have that in there yet, we will, yeah.
I'll just give it to you, Bill. So we're going to check and make sure they're all up and running, first thing, and we're going to make sure all the labels, like there was one that had, it might have gotten us through today, but we switched it out just in case. So we will run the checks on that each day. We're trying to make it easier for you. Nothing worse than having a long line of people and having to change the label machine.
So is that just the sort of thing that we would just say something on the radio if we needed a hand with, something
Yes,
like that?
Yes, and Chrissy or myself will be floating around. I should have said also, when you introduce the label to them, that little tiny tag, they don't know what to do with that. So make sure they know that's the tag you get to check your child out with. That's another thing to let them know. Because I've had a lot of people, I don't know what I do with this. All right, the last thing, the grouping of kids, and then this is for your information. It's not information necessarily for the parents to know. And there's a reason. Why are we going with names, not the ages? So we had, in the past, what's been happening is you have the 2-year-old room, the 3-year-old room, the 4-year-old room, and the 5-year-old room. And it doesn't really happen down here because we go by grades. But by the ages, if I have a kid that turns 3 in November, then I just put them into the 3-year-old room. And then 2 other kids turn 3 in December, and they move up to the 3-year-old room. And the parents were just moving their kids up to the age that they turned when they turned it. So we ended up with so many kids in the 4 and 5-year-old room because they were all just moving up. So we decided, so I put a question out there to different churches, what do you do? And they said, get rid of the ages and call them names. So now the parents know that they are a bumblebee and it's not an age. So they're going to stay in there. So we move from June to June and we step up. A whole year, except, you'll see. So Doodlebugs, that's the nursery, that's 2 and under. They really are ages, but we're not going to let them move up. Bumblebees are my 3-year-olds. Right now, that is the smallest group. I don't know after our fix today how that turned out. I haven't looked out. We've only had like 3 or 4 kids, so we're trying to figure out, can we go a little bit more? We can't put these 2-year-olds down here, even if it's too big, because they're not ready for the Bible story and lesson, because these guys all go to Bible story. So putting a 2-year-old in there is very difficult for 20 minutes, and they have to be able to attend. So Chrissy is in charge now of DEC Kids Junior Preschool. She's going to be in charge of this, and she's going to look at what can we do with the Doodlebugs to give them a little bit of something. But my plan, and we've talked with the Planning Center this week about doing this, is step up for the Doodlebugs, for the 2-year-olds, will take place on twice a year. So if they're 3
by January 1st.
January 1st, they may then join a Bumblebee group. That way, those 3-year-olds that are ready for a lesson get to join in. But so that's why looking at their tags is important. Whatever their tag is where they go. But know that some of the Doodlebugs will be switching as of January 1st. Does that make sense?
Just practically, is that because there's like a lot of kids who are like two,
Right.
at 2 and under?
Right now, our 2-year-old, how many do you have today?
Oh. A lot. I think over 20. probably.
Yeah, it's been over 20 every week. So we have a lot that are turning 3, 2 within the next few months, and I just can't put them in and dribble them in. I need to do it at a certain time, so we will. But the others will stay in their rooms.
And the software automatically updates them.
It does. We talked with Planning Center. We have to go through advanced filters and figure that out. We did that. Now, if we can remember it on January 1st. So that's my plan. The doodlebugs will move up. And by then, it will only be the ones that have turned 3. And we'll see how they do there.
And are you gonna be giving those parents a heads up, like in
Yes.
December? That
We will do
that's
that.
gonna happen, okay.
Because it just takes a while for those kids to adjust. And some kids need a couple weeks' notice and, yeah. I have one other thing I wanna say. Sometimes parents ask if they can join their kid in their class. And I don't know, has anyone ever had that question? All right, so background checks are important. We want all the parents to have a background check. That being said, we would never let a visitor alone with a child. So if they need to adjust for one Sunday and they're in that lower age group, I let them join for one Sunday, but they can't really be with they can just sit on the edge. But the next Sunday, they have to look through the window. So tell them the process ahead of time. Because I do think some kids, like if it's an autistic child in particular, they just can't be left alone with you. And we do have cameras.
On that same note, siblings, this is what I've been asked before, like, oh, can the older sibling go with the younger go with the
Yeah.
older for this one Sunday?
If it's one Sunday, but not, it's easier for the older to go down than for the younger to go up. Does that make sense? So like having a 3-year-old in my group does not work. It's just, they can't access it, it's just chaotic enough, but I like, so, no, we say no. Any other questions? But I don't, very rarely do I let the parents stay.
Because the time I had the question, it was someone putting their kid in nursery for the first time. And they just weren't sure how it was gonna go.
Yeah.
We're anxious about it.
So we do have the windows there, and every classroom has a window. So feel free to, that's how I would start. I wouldn't say, well, we'll let you stay one, only if they keep pushing when I let them. I would say, well, we have a window right outside and you can just stay right there and watch. I would encourage them to do that. Or get your assistant or myself to talk with the parents about it. I have let a couple of my parents sit here and watch, and then they generally leave.
Sometimes I've connected a parent when it comes to nursery too with a nursery volunteer that I know will be a really comforting. This is Jenny Hall. She's been in nursery forever. Oh, your kiddo's gonna da da da. This is Becky. She's done it. Like somebody that I know is gonna be a comforting presence for an anxious parent.
And we also have the parent room option for the nursery. If you don't feel comfortable leaving your child, then they can go to the parent room. Here it is. And we do have the monitor. Sure, we did have the monitor.
It worked.
Yeah. Any other questions?
One thing that I don't think you did mention though is in the bags, I think, but also with the check-in station, is a map of the classes now, so when you're directing, and parents will get that as well. Because I know that question has come up, the workers. I don't know where the classrooms are or to give directions to. Like I know Aviv will be walking them, but it would be good to have parents.
And for pickup, they can
Yes.
use that.
Yep.
Oh, that's a good idea. I don't think I have maps though. That's good. Anything else?
If there were 2 families coming in like back to back, are we just like, will be right back to show you where to go?
Yes.
Like,
Or we have the assistant that should be available too. And once the school system year gets going for us down here, DEC kids, I'll be free for the first 10 minutes to
Sometimes too, you can buddy up. Before Aviv was available, there's so many parents checking in. I'm like, oh, so-and-so's a doodle bug also.
Yes.
Hello, friendly face I know. Could you walk in together? And that can work too.
And all the rooms are labeled now, so you can tell them that the signs are above the doors, except doodle bugs keeps falling.
Above the door or at your feet.
Look all around, just there.
You'll find some sort of bug label somewhere.
Any other questions? So the form, that's the thing I want to stress the most, the form. If we can go with that, then I know who they are. I do appreciate you giving me your time. Thank you.